hopes and dreams travel with you.
He'll be an outcast. I'll kill him.
How? He'll be a god to them.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about Henry Cavill, our Superman,
Our Man of Steel.
our Man of Steel, if you will.
Superman of Steel.
I
has a lot of names.
actually really liked him. I thought that he really looked the part, and sort of at the end when he sort of did the Clark Kent transformation, he really looked kind of like a different person, which I thought was kind of cool. I was like, oh, it really worked for me. I see that they were trying to sort of brand this sort of moody superhero, which has become kind of more of a hot superhero movie type of, or superhero character, like the Batman's, they're trying to make his backstory a little more gritty, a little more real person is a superhero type of thing. He's got some demons, and he has depth, and he's complex, and I think some of it worked and some of it didn't, but as a whole I actually really liked him as Superman.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
I just felt like he wasn't very. He doesn't have a sense of humor. There's an episode of Seinfeld where they talk about if Superman has a sense of humor, and I kept thinking about in this movie. He just doesn't. He's a very.
Yeah, but
he's not a guy who punches you and then makes a quip. He just kind of
there's
he
no
just
kapow.
He just does his job. He's a very professional superhero, and that's something that they kind of broach with.
He was fighting so much in this movie and flying through buildings.
Yeah.
And there was just so much action that it didn't
There's
really.
too much
His
action.
character didn't really need that
I never
much
want to watch a movie
No.
where the fight scenes where I'm like, when is this gonna end?
Yeah.
And that was all the fights.
That
in
was this
movie.
whole movie.
And I
it was
think that
when is this fight scene
He
gonna
didn't really
end?
have any crazy tough decisions. I mean, he turned himself in to the army at one point,
But I don't know. I mean, I liked Henry Cavill, and I was really wanting him to do well, and I think he did well with what was given to him. But I really thought the storyline, there wasn't a lot for him to do other than to fly through 8,000 buildings.
here's my issue: is at the end, Superman has to go and save Metropolis, which is barely even introduced in the film.
Yeah, you don't even know
he's-
where it is.
He's supposed to be the savior, the big savior, but how does anyone even know who he is? The movie does not build up this like Batman. Everyone in Gotham knows.
Yeah,
this.
the movie builds
There's
up that the
an
Superman
aura.
has
I know who Batman
hidden
is.
himself.
And Superman, he just turns himself into the military at one point, and then almost in the next scene, he's out there flying around, but there's no process of everyone finding out who Superman is. I thought they didn't really show that in the film.
All of these characters that they based. You had the Kansas people. Okay, fine.
That's a
I
real
got
place.
it.
We can identify.
Yeah,
with
you
that.
can identify with that. But all these Lawrence Fishburne characters and the journalism characters. It was I don't care at all about you.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
And I would have no issue with lots of fight scenes because that's always cool, but they just got so boring after a while.
Yeah, they
Every
did the same
single
thing.
One,
There
you
was
just
nothing new. They
fly
had
through
this-
a wall.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one
through a
guy
building.
flying at a guy and
Every
taking him
action
a
set
mile
piece was
away,
the
and then somebody else
same
flying at that person
thing.
and taking him a mile away.
It just got so boring. I think we need to address the weapons that the bad guys were using, like the terraforming thing. What was that? I mean, that thing came into the movie at one point and started pounding into the ground and killing all these people, brutally murdering them. It didn't
Yeah.
even
So
show
many
it,
people
but
die in this movie.
It really made no sense. All I know is that it was trying to turn Earth into Krypton.
Yeah, and I've seen episodes of Star Trek where they deal with terraforming, so I'm kind of an expert.
So
Well,
I
and
don't
here's
really
the
know what
funny
this
thing:
thing is.
Terra is like Latin for Earth.
Yeah,
so
I
really,
got
what they're
that
not doing
mix.
is terraforming; it's crypto-forming. I don't know. So, long story short, with this one is that Superman ends up saving the world. He does so a really pretty large, pretty significant loss of human life. A lot of people die in the final battle of the film.
The entire city was destroyed.
Which are for the most part residual kind of effects of the big fight, but the big sort of climactic death is that Superman kills his foe, General Zod. Which Superman has a big, he lets out a horrifying scream after this, which is meant to, I guess, show us that Superman is very disturbed at the thought of killing.
He's moral.
But they don't really go into that a whole lot.
They try to do it, but like they don't explicitly say that like he has issues with taking like at least lethal force.
Yeah.
No, the way he fights Zod's soldiers earlier, I just assumed he was going to kill them. I thought that was the natural.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else are you gonna do?
To that conflict, he would kill all of them.
To those of you who know of his location, the fate of your planet rests in your hands. To Kal-El, I say this. Surrender within 24 hours, or watch this world suffer the consequences.
You will not win. For every human you save, we will kill 1 million more.
I was not very impressed. I thought it was trying to take Superman in the direction that the Batman films went, which is a darker, more serious tone, and I just didn't think it did not work. I liked the old Superman, and I thought it would be more of a reboot, but this one was just too dark for me. I didn't like the script. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 10. Just not my cup of tea. Try again next time, Zack Snyder. If there's one thing I liked about it, it's that the aliens and Zod, they looked cool. They had cool uniforms and outfits.
This movie took 70 some odd years of established material, a character that we all are familiar with and love. It didn't really go anywhere with it. The script was pretty weak. The acting was pretty good based on what the actors were given with the script. I'm gonna give this movie a solid C. Based on the sort of jumbled direction, weak script, but also I'd say special effects were really well executed. A lot of the acting was pretty solid, and I think they did a good job of making Krypton seem like a foreign world that no one could ever go to, like a fantasy land.
I was really disappointed with this movie. I was even trying to talk to people before the movie, being like, no guys, I heard it was gonna be really good. And then I looked like an idiot. So I'm gonna give this Superman 3 Krypton rocks. Out of 10.
Oh wow.
Maybe out of 15, because by the end, I could not wait for it to be over.
I won't betray them. You already have.
I'm not saying I won't see another one. I probably will. It was one of those summer movies that you see, and while I wasn't necessarily mad that I saw it, but I wish I had enjoyed it more.
Excuse me.